What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. Get my squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Let's do this. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Got my squad with me. T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Listen, before we even get this show started, I want to give a shout out to all the graduates of 2020.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah.
Congrats,
Listen, we're proud of you. You endured something that no other graduating class has ever had to endure in the history that I know of, in my history, in my lifetime. So I appreciate your tenacity. We're proud of you. Will, you got 2 graduates.
I got Pat Payton is graduating from college at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and Matthew is graduating from Golda Meir High School, so I have 2 graduates.
Sweet.
Congrats to you and the graduates, the double-double.
And because of that, I'm wearing Ypsilanti High School basketball representing my nephew in Detroit, or Ypsilanti, Michigan. He's doing well. He's a junior, will be graduating next year. So with that being said, let's get into this, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs 22 and 28 in the New King James says, "Do not remove the ancient landmarks which your fathers have set." Then Mark chapter 3, verses 24 and 25 in the New King James says this: "If a kingdom is divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, a house cannot stand." So why'd you bring up that scripture? Listen, I don't know about y'all, but we here in Wisconsin witnessed the NFL draft and the Green Bay Packers, and giving them a grade, I would go with a big fat boom, 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 a D minus. Let me go better. I'll give you a C. And the reason why I said that, because your first draft, I get it, you did whatever you had to do to move up and get a quarterback that they think is the replacement for Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers steps down. Jordan Love. But what I didn't like is the fact that what you said to Aaron Rodgers, because you didn't get him any help. We needed receivers. You didn't get him any receivers. And in drafting Jordan Love, you also drafted 3 of his buddies. So now that locker room is, okay, well, we're Aaron's guys, and now we're Jordan Love's guys. So now you have a house divided. How can this stand if it's going to stand, and what is this going to look like? I think about how should Aaron Rodgers feel about all this? And, Will, I'll throw it to you this time.
Okay. Well, first of all, Aaron Rodgers is one of the, if not the highest paid players in the NFL.
No doubt.
So his check is going to be as fat as it's ever been.
Facts.
And he's doing discount double checks and all kind of endorsements. And so Aaron Rodgers really doesn't have anything to worry about. As a matter of fact, if Jordan Love is better than Aaron Rodgers, then he's the second coming. So I'm not worried about that. He is for the future. I am very concerned with them not getting any receivers in a draft that was known to be deep in wide receivers. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm very disappointed in management when you didn't get me anybody. At least get me one guy who can stretch the field. Get me a guy who can play in the slot. I got one wide receiver I can depend on. And if you would have went and got me one more stretch guy, I would have been able to work my magic. But to say, hey, look, Aaron Rodgers, you got to win it on your own without any help again, I'd be pretty pissed if I was Aaron Rodgers.
I would have to second that sentiment as well. It was a little puzzling given that the Packers had such a surprisingly phenomenal season last year.
Shocking.
We won, 13 games we won last year?
13 games.
Right.
13 games. And coming into the season, I didn't think we'd be able to go 6-10, let alone, winning double-digit games.
Right.
So it demonstrated that, hey, man, I can do more with less. I gave you that. I showed you that. And some of the challenge sometimes when you do demonstrate, I'll say, superior efficiency, folks think that, oh, that's how you want to roll, not knowing that you had to pull every, rabbit out the hat to even pull that off.
Right.
And you would think that you would be reciprocated with a reward for doing more with less. All right, if you could do that with not that much, let me give you what you need, and maybe we can go to that next level. So I think it said two things. Number one, hey, Aaron, you're going to have to go ahead and do that magic again. Prove to us that last year wasn't a fluke. And I think maybe more subtly, there was some, rumored beef between the coach and Aaron. Coach coming in, hotshot coach. Aaron, the legendary quarterback, veteran, face of the organization.
Hall of Famer, first ballot.
Facts. This is my domain, you know what I'm saying? Bow down and kiss the ring. This may have been a situation where the coach might have had some conversation with him, saying, hey, man, this is the direction that we're going in. I'm just bringing it to you as a courtesy, but just so you know. And him saying, this is my team, too. So I know we had some back and forth, some tug of war, some yin and some yang. With this draft, I'm calling the shots myself and the GM. And if you don't like it, you can, let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Or you can play ball with us and come on in and we can make this as homey, as housey as we possibly can given these circumstances. But we run this, you don't.
Let me ask a question. If the GM and the coach went to the news and said what you just said, who would be gone first?
The coach.
The coach and that GM will be gone.
The coach would be gone first.
Both of their heads will roll.
Yeah.
But maybe that is true. I think, though, that it's not the first time that, in terms of the hierarchy of an organizational structure, does different things, and I'll just go ahead and hide my hand. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of things. Matter of fact, probably the stuff with
they did it to Brett Favre.
Brett Favre? Well, ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I was going to say.
And they did it at this same age. Around the same age with Brett Favre is when they got Aaron Rodgers.
But I think that, and that is true. I'm thinking, though, with regards to management, not necessarily going to the public to do those things because of just what you just laid out and that example you gave with Brett Favre, I'll do my stuff in-house. I'll just pull rank, and I'll do subtle things such as draft and not give you any receivers. I'll give you this gun, but you ain't got now bullet in it. Tom Brady, I think his situation with Tampa, we talked about on previous shows, I think some of that was because management said, look here, bro, I know you the face of the organization, fans love you, Brady, but this what we're doing. If you don't like it, you can scram. And he scrammed.
Well, one of the things that's advantageous to every other organization except the Green Bay Packers, they have an owner.
Right.
So you can go directly to Mr. Kraft or Jerry Jones and have whatever your beef is with the owner. Right. And the public got somebody, just like Dolan in New York, that they can point the finger at.
Right, the buck stops with him.
Green Bay is run by a nonprofit organization. So they have board of directors. And
how does that work? Because they profiting like I'm.
But I'm saying it, so that's different than going to an owner.
Right.
You have to go to a board of directors. The Green Bay Packers is the only team in the league that has that structure.
Right. For me, there's a couple things I saw with this. One, what I'm seeing with the Green Bay Packers is they're never trying to be a dynasty. Never. Because a dynasty always rebuilds. If you look at the Patriots, they stayed on top because every year they would retool, they would re-up, they'd get something else.
Facts.
They would add. But Green Bay seems to, we just gonna work these players until they dead, and then we'll get something new. They're never looking to upgrade their what they're doing, how they're doing. And if you got a great piece, not putting other great pieces around it says, I'm not trying to win consistently. I just want to do good enough for fans to keep buying seats, buying paraphernalia. That's what I'm looking to do. I'm not trying to get rings because that costs more than I really want to pay.
And that's been the calling. That's an excellent observation because not only in this draft that you're not, seemingly get the best arsenal that you could to field
Right.
the best team.
Right.
But even looking at their reluctance to sign free agents, I mean,
Right.
when what's my man's name, the linebacker for the Bears, Mack.
Right.
When he was
Khalil
Mack, when he was available, we had Aaron Rodgers coming off like an MVP season. Now we can get the best defensive player. Hey, we got this thing locked on up. Let's go ahead and do it. Like, nah, miss me with that. Miss you with that. Hey, we have a chance to almost rebuild a dynasty.
Right.
And to your point, no, we don't do that.
Well, if you look back at the history of the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowls that they won in the modern era, you think about that. The Super Bowl they won with Brett Favre, they didn't win the Super Bowl until they went and got Reggie White.
Right. And
Facts.
then Reggie went and got some people.
And Reggie
Yeah.
got
some
some
of his
people. And then the
buddies.
other thing,
Yeah.
they were right at the brink of getting it. And Brett Favre said, hey, I ain't got enough horses. And they went and got Andre Bad
Rison.
Moon Rising.
Yes, sir.
And they won it.
And they won it.
So,
Right.
which was a successful formula.
And went back to the Super Bowl the very next year.
Yeah, so
Right.
they know that formula works. So why they're reluctant to do it and give Aaron Rodgers the same type of help? Can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers had somebody as talented as Andre Rison?
Man,
He's a Hall of Famer, and he really pretty much has. He's never had a Hall of Fame receiver
Right.
Never.
or running back
Right.
to play
Right,
with him.
right.
Just think of how good he would be.
He would he would be in a higher position of greatest ever. Right now, he's arguably greatest ever. Had he had some more weapons and added some more hardware to his resume, I think it would be hard pressed for anybody to say that they were a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
The one
without a
thing,
doubt.
the one thing he has done is he's turned Dallas from being America's team. That happened during the Aaron Rodgers era, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
even with Brett Favre, they're still trying to say Dallas is America's team. But Aaron switched that.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like Green Bay is America's
They
team
are.
because
Well, Green Bay and New England.
Yeah,
You know, we
yeah.
hate to say it, but New England is also America's. Well, they were before Tom Brady left.
Right.
They also was America's team.
Yeah.
and there's
yeah.
some turmoil there because they really don't know who the quarterback is going to be. The rumor is it could be Cam Newton.
I can't see Cam Newton and
It could-
Belichick
Nah, I
coexisting.
can't.
Well,
either.
listen, we didn't see Gronk going to Tampa either.
I did. 75 in January. He
Right.
going to Tampa.
I said on this show, don't go Grunk. Stay retired. Go out on top.
yeah.
But he went, you know, but you know, to further this conversation of there's a situation here, Brett Favre went on, I think he was on one radio show, and he said he had a conversation with Aaron. And he said, I don't see Aaron retiring in Green Bay. He said, because there's a rift now between him and the team. That's coach, GM, there's a rift. And so,
Because they didn't get him any help.
and he said the quarterback wasn't the issue. He said, what you did was you proved to me you don't care enough about me to
You
get me
don't
what
wanna
I
win
need
now.
to win.
Yeah.
You don't want to
No.
win now.
It was,
And winners want to win every time, not later. They want to win now, they want to win later, and they want to win after later.
Yeah.
They always want to win. And to say, again, what you guys have been saying, I put everything on the line that I can. I've proven I'm ready to do this. I'm all in. And you don't give me when you have the opportunity. It'd be different if there was no opportunity.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you've had ample opportunity to go and get me what we need to get a Super Bowl here, and your pockets spoke more volumes than the championship.
Yeah, it's out of order what they've done. When they won the championship in 2010, 2011, that year we were 10-6. We lost 15 games to player injury that season. So it was a depleted squad, already had, some turmoil, and already was playing with less than A-list caliber players at every position, particularly the skill positions. And we still won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers went through the broken collarbone and came back and gritted out some stuff. So he's put blood, sweat, and tears, put his money where his mouth has been, and left it all on the line for the franchise. So on the what have you done for me lately, hey, I laid my life virtually out for you all, and we won 13 games last year. Let me
Right.
turn the tables. What have you done for me lately other than
Right.
give me the finger?
Right.
Looks
Right.
like.
Right.
And
Right.
that's
Right.
just
Yeah, it's-
unfortunate for us fans
it's
of the
for-
Green Bay Packers.
As fans of the Green Bay Packers, what's so disappointing for us is that the record speaks for itself. You haven't drafted a skilled player in the first round since Aaron Rodgers.
That's very telling.
Jordan Love is the second player,
Wow.
skilled player that they have drafted in the first round since Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
how serious can you be about, especially now we all know that football is passing. It's like basketball is three-point shooting. Football is passing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a fullback anymore.
Right.
The fullback been totally eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, the game has changed, and it's centered around, to your point, passing, centered around passing. The quarterback is the centerpiece of it, and you have one of the best to ever do it. Why not give him what he needs to operate at peak efficiency?
Yeah.
Hopefully they can maybe get something in the free agent market. Maybe they looking at some teams having some people, some talented individuals that they don't want to re-sign, and they can pick somebody up in the free agent market. I hope that's their strategy. But if they go into the season with this receiving core for Aaron Rodgers, shame on you, Green Bay Packers. Shame on you.
You know, again, getting back to our scripture, a house divided cannot stand. And if you got a quarterback that has you have a Hall of Fame quarterback with still at least 3 to 5 good years left in the tank,
At least.
Right.
and you don't get him what he needs to win, it said it cannot stand. And here's the thing. Last year's beef, they pushed past it because it was just, a one-on-one. I don't necessarily like your philosophy, whatever. But this year, it seems like upper management has sided with the coach, because I think part of the Jordan Love draft was because the coach liked him in college. He was in love with him in college. And so now I have a chance to get you in the pros. I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
And I think that there says volumes. You cannot treat, here's the thing. As a coach, you cannot coach pros like college.
Oh, no.
Facts.
You cannot, what you gonna do, if a player doesn't want to do something, what are you gonna do? Take away a scholarship in the pro? What you gonna do? And players in pros have more power than coaches.
Yes.
And so here you are bringing in your guy because you don't like the guy, and you're trying to create your team because you don't like this team. And here's what I believe. If there's a bad season, they're going to look back at this draft, and they're going to look back at this coach, and they're going to look back at this GM and say, "You're fired."
Ooh.
I think
You think so?
I think they're going to pull Alicia, because here's the thing. They're going to need to do something to get the confidence in the fans.
Okay.
Because right now, just like you're a fan, just like I'm a fan, and you're a fan, we're not confident in what's out there.
We don't.
We have
None
no
of us feel-
confidence.
None of us feel confident. And let me say this, on behalf of Jordan Love, it has nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
at all.
Nothing.
I've never seen the man, other than the highlights from the draft, I've never seen him play.
Right,
Have
right,
any of you
right.
guys ever seen him play?
Not one
He
I'm
time.
gonna
wasn't
go
in
with-
one of the power conferences.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, so we've never seen him play. So nothing against Jordan Love and his ability and
Right.
what he's doing. I mean, really, he's a victim of circumstance.
Right.
He's coming in here. They drafted me. I go where they draft me. Nothing against Jordan Love. It's just the whole idea of not giving this man who has given us so much
Yeah.
hope,
Weapons.
any help.
Yeah.
No
That's
weapons.
despicable that you do that to him.
It's out of order. I mean, in Jordan Love, we understand sports. We understand succession planning.
Yes.
We get that.
Yes, we
Aaron
do.
Rodgers, as great as he is, we understand he's long in the tooth, and Father Time is undefeated.
Yes.
No great
Right.
athlete has been able to just stay in perpetuity in whatever sport it is. So we get that. You are the heir apparent. Cool. Get on the sidelines, take some reps. Excellent. Matter of fact, Aaron might even show you some love because at the tail end of Brett Favre's career in Green Bay, to the point you alluded to earlier,
Right.
Pastor Skip, he kind of iced Aaron Rodgers out. I'm not giving you any tips on the sidelines. I'm not telling you how, to read defenses or anything like that. You're on your own. I got my little area over here. You got your area over there. We're going to be siloed. So Aaron knows how that feels and probably
Right.
won't even play love like that. He going
Right.
to show him, you know what I'm saying?
He gonna show love
He
some
gonna
love.
show, he gonna show love some love, right? No pun intended. He gonna show love some love. And so that's cool. To your point, Will, we're talking about the supporting cast. Devontae Adams, hey, his production is up there with the top receivers. He is, made the all-pro team a couple times. But I don't know if I grade him as a tier 1 elite
not.
receiver,
I don't even
even
think
though he's our number 1 receiver.
I don't even think he's a legitimate number 1 receiver. I don't. I think.
Hey,
I think he's
Devontae, Pastor
nothing
Skip
against
said that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to throw you a little
Right.
lifeline, but Julio Jones, I don't put you in that category yet. And
Right.
despite that, you still have been productive. His stats over the last 5 seasons, head up, shoulder to shoulder, it compares very favorably to those guys. That said, they've made the most of what they have. My grandmother used to say, you cannot get blood from a turnip. So if I've given you all I have,
Right.
I can't give you no more than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm 5'7". You want a 5'7" guy, you got 100% of this. But if you want somebody that's 6 foot, you got to get a 6 foot jugger because I can't give you that because I don't have it to give. I done
Right.
gave you all I have.
Right.
And for them to snub their nose the way they did it was out of order. So hopefully Aaron Rodgers can go ahead and adopt the, Michelle Obama mantra of when they go low, we go high, and still operate with dignity as a seasoned vet, as a class act, as a first ballot Hall of Famer, as you alluded to, Will, and still not let this become a boiling cancer in the locker room. But if he did, he got legitimate beef because they played him on this with this draft.
Let me add this and I'll let you go, Will.
Okay.
Here's for me. This goes far beyond the draft.
Oh, okay.
Because for me, first of all, you have an opportunity to get me a coach, and you don't even get me a great coach. Mm-hmm. You get me a rookie coach,
A beginner
a beginner.
A defensive coordinator.
at that.
So you know how many years I got left, and you don't even give me somebody who can help scheme and do some amazing things with what I can do. So I had to deal with that.
Yes.
I told you I
feel
didn't
on
like
that.
it.
I feel you on that.
I
Yeah.
told you I didn't like it. We had beef because he coming in trying to tell me, and Aaron asked him, well, how many snaps have you taken in the pros? How many championships have you won in college?
His defense was ranked number 26 in the league, so he wasn't even a good defense.
So your specialty
Right.
was
And so,
mediocre.
So here's what you did. You gave me mediocre. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is starting to parallel LeBron James in Cleveland. Because you expect LeBron to do miracles with nothing. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, and you never gave him a Hall of Fame coach. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers.
Great point.
You've never given him a Hall of Fame coach. You give him worse, the better he gets and the older he gets, because you're trying to pinch pennies. And now you're saying, yeah, and so we're going to be like Pharaoh. You're going to have to make bricks,
No straw.
no straw.
Facts, man.
And then you're saying, but we want you to take it and be a good guy for the sake of the team. Man, that house is divided.
Hey, I wanna take this opportunity.
In the words of Pastor Tim, it's bifurcated.
I want to take this opportunity
Right.
to welcome Jordan Love to Green Bay and to the Packers.
Red carpet.
And Jordan Love, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna put in a request with you. I want you to get number 1, so your name could be One Love.
You're lucky to have just one love.
Just one love, one love, one love.
Right.
You're lucky just to have just one.
Right. But
Nice.
listen, I'm a faith man, and I'm very optimistic. but I'm seeing signs that you're not trying to do what it takes to win. You're just trying to make this franchise lucrative.
Just make money.
That's it.
Just make money.
It's about the bottom line more than it's about the product you're putting out on the field.
It's more about the shareholders than it is about the fans.
And that to me is going to eventually backfire, and it's going to backfire quickly because, you know, as great as Green Bay Packer fans are, you know, they're sold out for the next 20 years.
Yes.
There comes a time where I'm not spending $100,000 a year for mediocrity. I'm not going to do that. And Chicago got better.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you
Chicago
see it-
got better.
You see it in baseball. You see it in baseball. The other night, me and my son, yesterday, we was watching Nolan Ryan pitch a no-hitter when he was 44 years old.
Right.
And they showed the highlights of it. You know the thing that Matthew noticed the most?
What's that?
How many people was at a baseball game?
Wow.
Right.
He's like, Daddy, all them people used to be at a baseball game?
Yeah.
Baseball hasn't been that popular in his short life. And he was just amazed at how crowded the stadium was at baseball because they're not crowded like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think with all this whole COVID-19 thing, I don't think fans are going to come back like they came back anyway for at least a year.
Really?
For at least a year because how are you going to do, because social distancing isn't going to be lifted come season.
Okay.
I know right now they're talking about, for soccer, they're talking about putting virtual fans in the stands so the players can at least feel, and I'm thinking, well, how are you going to do that? You're going to take some old footage of fans and put them in there, or you're going to have people have monitors in the stands of people watching it from the, I don't know. But I know what we know sports to be. I don't know if it'll ever go back to that. And if it does, it'll be sometime down the years. And also, with everybody having the ability to watch it online from the safety of their home without, all that extra money, I can either I can pay, $15,000 for some season tickets, or I can buy one of these VR lenses or glasses, pay $500 and have courtside seats, and I look like I'm at the game.
Yeah.
And so that
I've seen those, but I have never put them on and experienced that. I'd like to do
you
that.
can buy the NBA package
We
with
should
the
do the
VRs.
show. We should do the show with those on.
Oh man.
Let me just say this piece to that VR, that virtual reality piece. I think that as that technology continues to emerge and come on, that will pose a very real threat to, the cost of going to a game and getting premium seats and the concessions and all that kind of
Parking,
stuff.
traffic.
All of that.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, and I'm not really a big gamer at all. I mean, I haven't done anything since Atari and Pac-Man and stuff.
Same with me.
And he's
Make that a triple.
a big gamer, and into technology and all that kind of stuff. I'll make this quick, and we're kind of wrapping up the show. So he said, "Hey, try these on." He was fixing my laptop one time, so I tried the little things on, and it was a game called Atlantis, I believe. And I was in this tank, and I was lowered down to like some scuba diving depth, and there was this shark that was kind of coming around. And he was like, I was about to take him. No, just keep on. He knew what was coming. I didn't, and I didn't necessarily want to experience it. Short story shorter, the shark came. Now this is virtual reality, man. The shark came and hit that cage, and I'm kind of shook, but the bars were still there, held him out. So he left and came back shortly thereafter. Hit the thing again, and now these bars are opening up enough, looks like enough, to he can at least get his mouth in there to get me. So as he was coming, I took them things out, because even in virtual reality, I don't get ate up.
Wake up. Hey, listen, great show today. Thanks for being a part. Check us out on YouTube, Into His Courts, on Facebook, Into His Courts. Tell your friends, warn your neighbors, share it. Listen, we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel right here. Joy 1340 AM, 98.7 FM. Until next week,